Greetings from Arequipa. It's a quiet day today, very quiet.
Sunny.
It's Sunday, and we are some number of weeks. We didn't look it up.
I don't know, I'll put it here.
Yeah. Today is the 13th.
Of June.
Is it the 13th? No, it's the 14th. Yes, 14th. It's 14th
Happy
of
birthday,
June.
Troy.
Happy birthday, Troy. Happy birthday, President Donald Trump. Oop.
We thought we would do another quarantine life update.
Yep.
Because it's been a long time now.
It has been a long time. It's been several weeks, and I think it's safe to say that nothing has happened and tons has happened. I think that's very safe to say.
Yeah. I think most of this is going to be updates from Clint because I have no news of the outside world. I still haven't left the house. Yep. I don't know how many days this is.
Yeah.
Although I am contemplating possibly going for a walk.
Yeah. So I'll explain that in just a second, the reason why that's a thing. So the current situation is very uneven across the country here. Here in Arequipa, things have been pretty much the same as they've been since the beginning. Arequipa compared to Lima is a very different story when it comes to the pandemic response. In Lima, there is an overwhelming of healthcare institutions and a lot of infection rate, like a high infection rate. And, yes, Lima is much bigger than Arequipa, but the numbers in Arequipa remain proportionally low compared to Lima. And
I guess I would just throw in that I think we're still all a little ambivalent about how often these numbers are being reported here in Peru. So
right, and regional data remains kind of spotty. I'll say
it's there, which is nice because I think the last time we did the update, we hadn't found any.
Right.
And some people put resources in the last box. So if
thank you for that.
Yeah, if you have more resources, please drop them down below in the comments.
But the last numbers I've seen for all of Peru is we're really close to 221,000 infections, which puts Peru just behind Italy. And Italy was one of the first places that we saw with a big outbreak outside of China. And so Peru is just about to that level. And the infection rate in Peru still remains, the daily infection rate is still higher than what Italy is experiencing now. Italy is, as far as I understand it, well past a peak. So Peru is very likely to surpass Italy probably in the next several weeks, I would think. And that's significant because Peru has half the population of Italy, so that just kind of gives you some perspective. But the death toll right now is about 6,300 people.
In the whole country?
In the whole country. And really close to 3,000 of that, so half of it is in Lima, just Lima. And then if you add Callao into that, I'm sure that sets it well over half. So just Lima and Callao have been really the epicenter in Peru. In Arequipa, we have less than 100 deaths. So, very, very comparatively little danger here in Arequipa when it comes to infection. The last numbers I think I saw were a little less than 2,000 total, I think, in all of Arequipa. So, you can talk a lot about the differences regionally in the United States, state to state. Here, it's interesting because there isn't as much of a sense of local governance. So it's really up to people and how they respond. And from everything that we've read and everything that we've heard, it sounds like Arequipa, people in Arequipa in the south of the country have been far more open to and willing to adhere to the rules and decrees from the president about going on the street, wearing a mask, distancing, all this kind of stuff. So Arequipa's response has been dramatically different than, say, Trujillo, which is in the northern part of the country, and infection rates in Trujillo are much higher than here. So there's regional differences that aren't necessarily illustrated by governmental differences because those don't really exist in a robust sense like we know in the United States. So people in the South have been, for whatever reason, more willing to quote unquote follow the rules.
Yeah.
And that's borne out by the numbers, I think.
So there've been many changes of the rules.
Yes.
Like at one point,
and some of it was increasing restrictions, and some of it's been decreasing restrictions.
I think we went at one point where there was a curfew from 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. until 6 a.m.
Yeah.
That's kind of relaxed,
Yep.
and for a while there was like some weird like gender rules,
Yeah.
like women could only go out on certain days and men could only go out on certain days.
That lasted like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure the president was hearing all kinds of...
Yeah. There's some really funny videos from Lima of like just police vehicles chock full of women, and then everyone's waving, and it's just kind of goofy.
But now, what are the rules? Ish now.
Yeah, the rules now are...
Which, by the time we post this...
are going to be outdated, right? But rules right now are essentially... there's a strict curfew for Sunday. So we're recording on a Sunday. There's not a peep. You can't hear anything. It's like the quietest I've ever heard in the city. It's really nice. So Sunday is just a blanket quarantine. No one can go on the street.
Yeah.
Everything's shut down. No stores are open, yada, yada. You can... I think you can have more than one person from each household out. For a long time, it was only one person per household, but I could be wrong about that one. It could still be one person per household. We can now exercise, so congratulations, you can exercise within 3 kilometers of your house.
It has to be only for an hour.
Only for an hour.
And it has to be within 3 kilometers of your house. But I don't know how that's
How would you enforce that?
But maybe it's just a guideline for people to stay close to home, you know.
Right.
But our household has been very happy about that.
Yeah.
Because Rachel, who lives here, is a runner, so she's been able to go out and running again.
Yep.
Billy is just a caged wild animal, so he's been able to get out and take a walk.
Yep.
So I'm the one that still hasn't left, but whatever.
I've only gone out slightly more, but even then, just because of my work schedule, I pretty much can't go out except for Saturdays. So I mean, I can and do, but I don't. So so that's kind of the overall situation. There was a really kind of I'll call it depressing article that my friend Andrea sent me, a New York Times article about what's been going on in Peru and the response and kind of lifestyle changes and the depressing stories of losing people that's been happening in Lima. And it's just, we don't, as far as we can tell, we don't have that experience. There's nothing even close to what's happening here in Arequipa, what's going on in Lima.
No, I mean, there's still like some weird things that is depressing and
right.
I mean, obviously we're not in the United States right now, but we know what's going on and we've been following the issues, and it's just disturbing to see some of that here because a lot of Venezuelans aren't getting the treatment that they should be getting when they're ill, and that is really sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around just the inhumanity, and I think it's hard to not give criticism. I think it's
in
easy.
Any tough situation, it's always easy to criticize.
Right.
But there are some things that are
right. So we've heard of, I mean, obviously non-nationals non-Peruvians are not eligible for public benefits, which,
I mean,
but people are paying taxes. It's just it's tough. It's really
weird.
difficult.
Yeah.
So we've heard some not so pleasant stories of Venezuelans being turned away who very likely have COVID-19 and did not end well.
Yeah.
Did not end well at all.
Both here and in Lima.
Right.
And I'll put that New York Times article down below if you guys want to take a look.
Yeah.
We'll also we've been getting most of our numbers from Johns Hopkins website, so I'll put that down below as well, because now Johns Hopkins does have regional data, which is, again, like we said, it's nice to see.
They're getting a lot more information, and it's really fascinating, and it's a lot more informative.
Yeah.
But, so that's kind of the general picture outside the house.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that we're more than okay.
Yeah.
Here in Arequipa. Arequipa's been handling the situation quite well.
Yep.
Inside the house, this is tough. You know, we've been locked indoors for 3 months now.
Yeah.
Pretty much, almost exactly 3 months. And,
You know, it's tough for everyone. Like,
yeah.
I know when we, like, have done, like, we did some vlogs and stuff, and the last quarantine update, and I'll link those down below. Like, I was saying it wasn't really bothering me, and, like, it's still not really bothering me. I think I've got a pretty decent routine now of exercising and working and that kind of stuff. But on a personal note, kind of debated saying anything, but Clint and I were talking, and we were talking about how this channel has become kind of like chronicles of our lives, and it would just kind of feel disingenuous to not say something. But my dad, who was supposed to come and visit us in April before all of this happened, he actually died about a month ago. Not from the virus, there was an accident. And so that's one of the reasons why our posting has been just so sporadic, because, I mean, sometimes I just don't feel like doing things. I mean, a lot of times I don't feel like doing things. So that has been very rough, because obviously I'm not able to be with my family. It's just a rough situation, and I think that has really made this quarantine feel worse for me, just because it's a rough situation.
Yeah. Yeah, we were so looking forward to him coming down, and it was kind of like the next thing after
Yeah.
my dad had left, and there's
Yep.
so many more projects to do, and he's such a freaking project machine. Not
Yeah.
only that, but like, you know, the new house and
My dad hadn't actually come to visit us before. He was waiting for us to buy a house.
right.
Um,
So it's just
it's just a shitty situation, and
really unfortunate.
I mean, luckily the things that my dad wanted, like I'm not missing anything back in Wisconsin, like funeral or whatever. That is all. It's able to be put on hold, but you know, there's things that need to be tied up, and I would like to be there to support my family, and obviously I can't. So
Yeah. We don't even have the option to, really.
yeah, I mean, you could take a reparation flight and pay a lot of money, which is very expensive. When we've had friends that
Oh yeah.
have needed to do that.
You're shelling out your entire bank account to do
Yeah,
that.
but
It's possible.
you know, it's possible, but then I wouldn't be able to come back
Right.
until things open up. And the rumor is that the borders are going to be closed until the end of the year.
Yep.
I haven't heard any official stuff saying that. And right now, our state of emergency here in Peru has been extended to mid-September.
Yep.
And I think,
But the quarantine,
yeah,
being locked indoors, is likely to last only until the end of July.
yeah, they've been slowly kind of, like we said, changing rules and stuff. But it's just kind of sucks now.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't mind quarantine, like in general. It's fine for my personality, but like not being able to be with my family has been really, really tough.
So it's safe to say that you know, these 3 months have taken a toll on all of us psychologically. You know, all things considered, the four of us who live here have had it really well.
Yeah.
To be honest, like we've had it pretty freaking well.
Yeah.
We all get along.
Yep.
You know, we
I love Billy and Rachel,
Yeah.
and
we're very lucky to have them.
I'm going to be very sad when they move on.
Yeah. You know, we could certainly have roommates that are
Yeah.
far less fun to be around and
Yeah.
far more difficult to live with.
Right.
That is not the case with Rachel and Billy.
No.
And then on top of that, being locked inside with them for 3 months straight, like literally, all things considered, it's going very, very well. However,
Yeah.
you know, I am more than ready to be out of the house. You know, my NGO's got projects we want to do. You know, I hate, being real, I hate teaching online. I teach English and
Yeah.
I teach online. It sucks. just going for a walk, basic stuff,
Yeah.
not having restrictions on where we can go. I know that it's all, very, it's necessary, the restrictions. I understand it, but like
Yeah.
being outside, we have this roof space, yeah, but like being out and going for a hike, we planned to hike Pichu Picchu and Misty again before now. We would already have done those things, and there is a lot of science about the psychology of being separate from nature for a long time, and it's just
Yeah.
it's
We're
wearing on
lucky
all of
we
us.
have some green space just on the other side of our roof. It's not ours, but like our neighbors.
Right. So we can see some green things.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
And I have to say, there have been some positives that have come out of quarantine. I think I've officially made Billy and Rachel cat people.
Maybe.
They have been really liking our cats.
They're really saving the day.
Yeah,
They're
the
really
cats
entertaining and
are
funny.
pretty great.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's like the only positive I can think of. So I don't know. But that is one positive.
Yeah.
And it is nice being able to spend more time with our friends and getting to know them better, and
Yeah.
it's nice having other people here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just completed month 3, so it's probably 12 weeks. I would say it's either 12 or 13 weeks that we've been locked up. But all things considered, we're doing very well.
Yeah.
Our situation
Things
is
could
not
definitely be worse.
absolutely.
Like
Our situation is not terrible.
Even though my situation I think is rather shitty, and obviously I have a lot of emotions about it. It could, and I keep reminding myself, it could be worse, like a lot worse.
Yep.
So.
So, if you've had kind of a change of experience over time through this quarantine, if you're locked indoors in Peru or elsewhere,
let us
share
know.
your story.
We want to know what's happening in other communities and stuff.
Especially if you're in Lima, I'd be.
Yeah.
We have very little. Some of our friends have moved away from Lima in the last year, so we don't exactly have any connections to Lima right now. So, if you're in Lima, we're curious to know if it's as bad as New York Times says it is, because it's.
They painted a.
Yeah, painted a pretty bleak picture.
Yeah. So let us know how you're doing.
Yep.
And again, I'm sorry that our videos have been kind of like all over the place, but I'm sure. You guys understand.
Yeah.
So, we might like pre-film some videos like that are unrelated to quarantine. After this, we'll probably post a book video. So for you book people, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
It's nice for me. I like books. So I think we'll just catch you in the next video. Bye.